Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. I am your host this week, Scott, because Nick is under the weather or can't make it. We're not entirely sure. Maybe if you guys could shed some light, Tim.
I think he lost too much money betting NCAA tournament. I don't know. That's the rumor going around. Who knows what's actually happening?
Gotcha. So you're going to have to stare at my fucking ugly face for the next, 45 minutes, an hour. Tough shit. Suck it. I don't care. We got big time Tim Sakura here. Sakura, sorry about that. We have Chris Sershaw, and it seems like we're, cohesive at this point. Every time I'm on, he's on. We got Latch here. How you doing, man? All of you. We'll start with Latch.
Not bad, not bad. Just got back from Indianapolis on Sunday. Still tired as hell. It's been fun, but glad to be here with you guys.
And we will touch on that. Tim, how you doing? How'd you do this weekend?
We're doing good for now. Let's see how the rest of the night goes.
Right, because this is going to be a show happening while the Gonzaga game is going on, and by the time we're off, we're going to tune into the Michigan game. Sir, how you doing? How'd you do this weekend?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, brother. Doing all right. I mean, just won some, lost some, but it's all right. It happens.
Right. Yeah, for me, too, it was pretty stagnant here and there, kind of broke even, so it is what it is. For those watching, we have the Sharp Bets Fantasy Sets merch, rocking the hat, TruExact Radio hat. Tim has an American flag shirt. Sir has a shirt. He has a mason jar. He didn't buy his dog a collar, but he did buy his girl a tie-dye shirt, which I still believe is for him, but he's too scared to admit it, is what it is. So, anybody who wants merch, go to TruExactRadio.com, get it on the shop. And I know when you buy stuff, so don't try to pull a fast one over on Tim, because we get emails when everything is purchased. So don't try to go to Tim and be like, oh, I bought this. Let me get into like some sort of weird giveaway Tim does, because we will know. That's just what it is. So
it's like everything else, Scott. It's just to get people's email addresses. Don't worry about it.
Right, exactly. So today we're going to touch on where March Madness is at. We're going to touch on this Lindor deal with the Mets and if he should take it or not. And then we're going to go into some baseball stuff. It's a little dead right now. Obviously, baseball starting Thursday. So we'll figure it out. You'll have a good time with us. And if you're tuned in on Twitch, thank you very much. If not, and you see this, go fuck yourself. Let's start off with March Madness, though. All right, so Latch. You are a huge Villanova fan. I hate Villanova, but I commend you because you are a true fan and you travel wherever they go. You're one of those guys who are like rah-rah, everything. I think Jay Wright's a fake Italian. I can't stand him. He wears suede shoes and he just plays the part. Bothers me. So tell us about how
coming from the half Polish guy. Coming from the half Polish guy. Go ahead.
So what? I don't wear suede shoes. I don't pretend. So I don't wear suede shoes. Let's tell us about like how the trip was out to Indianapolis, the COVID protocols, the traveling, how you decided to go, if you don't mind what you overspent, how you're going to be, maybe selling that treadmill in the back to pay some of your bills.
No, I'm going to be on that treadmill because I can't afford to go to the bars or eat anymore. But yeah, it was, we had, with COVID, haven't done anything in a year. My father's very high risk, so I've been as safe as humanly possible. But I was able to get the vaccine because I'm a volunteer firefighter, and my parents both finally were able to get their vaccines. And they said they were going to sell tickets, they were going to allow fans, and I said, all right, let's look into this and see if we can make it happen. And basically, I entered the part of the losing money was I entered into a bunch of lotteries and I got a bunch of tickets to the first two rounds. I had 28 tickets to the first two rounds of the tournament. And, but it was all the big venues, Bankers Life and the football stadium. Our first game ended up being at a place called the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, which is basically a minor league hockey arena / where they do livestock shows. It was like a glorified high school gym. It was crazy. I think there were maybe only 800 people at the game, and the tickets were crazy pricey because of, with them limiting to like 15-20% of the venues, tickets were expensive. And then all my tickets for the big venues that I ended up trying to resell didn't really do too well on, so it was kind of washed out. But I was surprised that they didn't do more, but I guess it is what it is now. Like, they're getting a little more liberal. It's you had to wear your masks all the time. When you walked in, 2 of the 3 places, they asked you, like, the questions to make sure you were, like, asymptomatic. But they didn't take temperatures. They didn't do anything. But they were allowed 25% capacity, and I think none of the venues were over 20. So you'd go in there and the seats would be taped off where you can't sit. And literally every like group of places you could sit was like 10 feet away from everybody else. So the place was pretty much empty. Like like I said, the place that I was at, that place probably holds like 6,000 or 7,000 people, and there were like 800 people there. So like you could hear us. I haven't watched the recorded games yet, but like I know the things I was yelling and cursing, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to pick them up in the background on TV when I go back and rewatch them. But yeah, other than that, like it was great. The players were excited. You could tell they were a little more amped up because some fans is better than playing in an empty gym. So that was awesome. The city was really good. I've been to Indy before. It's like, I joke that it's like a small town with a bunch of big, like a handful of big buildings, but the downtown is fantastic. There's restaurants, there's all sorts of places everywhere. The majority of the places were being very safe. So, just like here, if you want to go out, dine out, the tables are spaced apart. You got to wait, you got to do all that stuff. And it was a great time. And Nova, I was, not sure how we were going to do going in because we lost our third-team All-American point guard with a game and a half to go in the season. But they came together. They got to practice for a couple weeks and made it to the Sweet 16. Got my nice Sweet 16 shirt. And, it was an awesome trip.
That's
so
cool,
I don't know
man.
if you guys have any other questions of, like, what went on out there or what was –
I mean, sorry, sir. The only question that I had was, did you know that you were heard on the telecast? Because when I was with Jameel over the weekend at a bowling tournament, me and him got to talking. He's like, "Yeah, Latch, we're watching the game, and I swore I heard Latch." So we were texting him, and he was texting back. It's like, did you just say that? And yeah, we could definitely hear you over. I don't know if you were able to respond in the building, but you guys were in a group chat and they were talking about how they could hear you over the telecast on TV.
Oh, I believe it. It's funny. Like, I go to all the Nova games all year, so I'm used to in normal times. I'm doing my screaming a couple times a week. And then when summer comes and I'm going to all the Red Bulls games, that's even more because you're nonstop for 90 minutes. So, like, the early part of the Red Bull season, I've got to get in better shape than I was in basketball season with my voice. Now, I didn't do anything for a year. The day between games, I had no voice. I lost my voice after every game for an entire day because I hadn't screamed in a year. So it was wild. But they're definitely like, no one else really told me that they want something specific. But if a ref makes a bad call and their guy misses the foul shot, when he's ready for the next one, I scream, "Ball don't lie," as loud as possible. So if you heard "Ball don't lie" on TV during either of the Nova games, because I did it a couple times, that was definitely me.
Sir, as a fat boy, how was the grub in Indiana?
So as I tend to have problems with whenever I do these NCAA journeys, I tend to actually lose weight because I'm on mostly a liquid diet.
Okay.
You don't say.
So ton of good beers, ton of good stuff. I did plan ahead because there's an awesome steakhouse there called St. Elmo's. It's super famous. It's like 130 years old or something. They have this like world famous cocktail sauce for their shrimp cocktail. It's spicy. It's out of this world. They're amazing steaks. And the first weekend we couldn't get a reservation. So literally when we were beating North Texas in the second half and knew we were going to be back the following weekend, I went and made a reservation for me and my couple friends for the following weekend because I knew we would all be back. So when we lost to Baylor, we went to a bar, did a bunch of shots, drowned our sorrows, and then went in and got to have this amazing kingly steak dinner to drown our sorrows in, which was fantastic.
It sounds like an awesome trip.
On the flip side, though, real quick, on the food, my buddy I drove out with had to drive back here. He's from Brooklyn because he works at a restaurant. I work remotely, so I didn't want to be in a car for 11 hours again back and in a car for 11 hours again back. I was going to stay in Indy, but I ended up getting in touch with my cousin who lives in Chicago. And I took a bus up there and spent the week in between in Chicago, and it was a restaurant week, sir. And I researched. I had the second best ramen I've ever had in my life. We had a pho place that did takeout where we got a kit and like cooked our own pho at her place, which was awesome. We hit an amazing Italian restaurant. We hit an amazing taco joint. So the week in between, I ate like a king. But in Indy, it was mostly liquid.
You know what?
Is pho what us white people call pho?
Yeah, pho is the way the Vietnamese pronounce the name of their food. Yes, correct.
Okay, just making sure. We're on the same page.
Right. I believe that's PHO, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
the big bowl of soup.
Right, yeah, there we go. He had soup. Congratulations. No, it sounds like a cool trip.
Twice. I had soup twice. Pho is different from ramen.
Right,
What?
no, I think I've had it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cool trip. I'm jealous, man, because I'm sure, as all of us, we haven't been to anything since. I mean, last game I was the Red Bull home opener last year in March, so I'm kind of itching. I'm chomping at the bit just to get back. I'm fully vaccinated now. Everyone who's not, go get your vaccine so we could all enjoy some summer, please. That's really cool. But let's touch on March Madness now, because in my eyes, there hasn't really been any big surprises except maybe Illinois getting knocked out. I mean, like it's kind of played out how we thought. I mean, everyone kind of picks their big upset. I think everyone had Creighton get knocked out. That didn't really work out too well. Is there anything you guys saw? I'll start with Sir. That it's kind of like upset you with your bracket. It really pissed you off that you didn't see coming.
So I actually wrote down a few things that where I was right and where I was wrong in this tournament. So I'll begin with where I was right because we'll go start with the good. Gonzaga, number one, Gonzaga. I trusted them. They're the best team in the nation. Scott, I know you didn't believe it because, you said they didn't play anybody. But they look like the best team in the nation, so take it easy. All right, and my title thing is still intact, so thank you very much. Number two, I had the winner of the Michigan State-UCLA playing game going on a deep run. I thought Michigan State would win the game, but it's all right. I had to figure that the winner would go on a run, and they did. Thank you. And I thought number three, Illinois would be the first number one seed to be eliminated. They were. Now, where I was wrong. Number one, my bad. I disrespected the hell out your boys, Nova. I thought they would lose in the first round. You said they lost their best player, All-American. Sorry, old boy.
Me and Jay Wright were the only two people that knew that they were going to the Sweet 16.
My bad, fam. My bad, all right? That was on me. Honorable mention to Creighton also. I disrespected them as well. You know what I'm saying? Number two, hyping up UConn. I had them in the Final Four.
Oh, yeah, you did. What were you doing?
But I knew I was in trouble when Miguel started talking about him. When Miguel was like, "Oh, we're gonna win," I'm like, I almost changed my bracket on the spot. But
you should have.
I think, sir, can I guess another one you had wrong that I told you about? Was it Oklahoma State?
You're damn right. I don't mention Oklahoma State, but it's not as bad because at least they won a game. All right.
Right.
All right. And number three, I'm pretty sure we all had this one. Ohio State. Come on, fam. How you lose? Come on. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it happens.
Yeah, no, you're right. Hey, this is why it's madness, as they say. It sucks because as a fan, you root for the underdog as a fan. But then when the underdogs get there, you get pissed off the games suck because sooner or later it catches up and that 13 seed gets their fucking doors blown off.
I did have Abilene Christian beating Texas, so that was a nice little upset I had today.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Tim, what do you got? What pissed you off? Even though you still got a game tonight, so congratulations.
Well, that's the only thing that didn't piss me off, which if they were playing a different team, I picked them to lose tonight. But I think they're gonna handle their business tonight. That's been like the best thing that's happened, right? Michigan making it all the way to when they win today, the Final Four. But number one, I'm not gonna list everything like Sir did, but I got two or three things to say. Fuck Georgetown, Miguel. I know you're not watching because you're not one of the good people that we deal with, right?
Okay.
I don't. He's not the best fan or friend, right? He doesn't show up to anything. And fuck off Scott because you made me buy a goddamn shirt that he has to sign.
That was your fault because you guys bought into Georgetown. That was your fault.
Just to win one game. To win a game.
You guys were riding high on them. They stink.
They cost me a mason jar, old boy.
Yeah, goddamn.
You know what I'm saying? This is
a free mason jar. So that was the first thing that pissed me off. And I had two bets that cost me just as bad. I bet against my good dear friend down there, Mr. Latch, in the first round, and I got kicked in the pants. And then I bet Illinois against what's the old lady's name from Loyola Chicago?
Sister Jean.
Sister Jean, yeah. Well, Sister
200 years old.
I got my jeans robbed because she took my money too. That was awful. I bet Michigan thanks to Jameel. Well, not thanks to Jameel, but I bet more than I was going to based on a car ride. He's a good persuader of betting more money, and this time it actually worked out. I bet Michigan and Alabama to win. They had odds boosts on DraftKings, which always check the odds boosts on DraftKings. I don't know why they give odds boosts to certain things, but certain things I thought were no-brainers have hit in the past week. The 12 seed in the first round to win always happens, right? Put your money in, you got paid out. And then the Michigan, Alabama, the two higher seeds to win. It wasn't a great boost, right? But it was better than the negative whatever boost it could have been. So it was that. And then the latest bet I won, I actually bet the women's NCAA tournament, the over in the UConn Iowa game, which is like they were hyping up. It was the two freshman superstars for each team that blew out of the water. So those were my quote unquote best bets.
Give some love to the women's tournament too, because that was a great game yesterday. And honestly, like you could argue that shot.
You know what I'm saying? Check their pockets. They might have got robbed.
That was definitely a foul.
And I think it was 2 years ago, the Notre Dame game, that lady hit one of the greatest ending shots of all time, and it's almost like it goes without saying. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name or anything, but it was fucking ridiculous. All right,
hold on. Can we just bring up, like, is there a worse way to lose a fucking NCAA tournament game than a non-foul call in the last second? Like, all right, hear me out. Why can't they review that?
I would say the worst way is losing on a foul call that wasn't a foul.
But like, all right, so hear me out.
Personally.
In the NFL, in the last 2 minutes, they take it out of the ref's hands and they have to review it. I know you can't review every play, but something that obvious or that close, that they're already taking the time to review how much time's left on the clock. You could at least get the fucking call right.
And it sucks because, like, these women, let's be honest, there's not as much of a lane for the women to go into the WNBA and make millions of dollars. So essentially women's college basketball is their peak for a lot of them. And like you're stripping away their like things they'll remember for the rest of their life. Like when Kansas loses, oh great, we're going to the NBA and making millions of dollars. A lot of these women's they're not doing that. There's a select few. So to sit back and rob them, it sucks, man. Go on, sir.
No, one thing I don't like losing on is free throws. I'm pretty sure my man Moraga can attest. Free throws, bruh. It's universal. The line and the hoop are the same distance. Why can't these brothers make a free throw?
Yeah, like, I compare college free throw shooters to college kickers. It's weird because, like, how don't you make a 34-yarder? You get to the NFL or NBA and everyone's a 90% free throw shooter. Like, what happens?
The one game, my man hit a deep three, and then in overtime, he proceeds to brick 2 free throws. Like, bruh, like, come on. Like, that's one thing I don't like. I can't stand losing on free throws.
It doesn't make any sense. Latch, aside from your Villanova losing, which, let's be honest, you didn't have hopes for them to win it this year, I don't think. They didn't really have the team once Gillespie went down. What did you look at as, like, the positives that you had or the one, like, oh, I really fucked up on this bracket?
Well, I did have us go into the Sweet 16 because I knew that, all right, we lost one All-American and Co-Big East Player of the Year, but we have another guy on the team who was an All-American and a Co-Big East Player of the Year. So,
excuse me. Why did you throw me off the cliff then if you had that kind of confidence?
So I was about to get to this, sir. So I like experts. I ask experts about things. So when you were doing things with Creighton and UConn, ask your Big East boy for some questions because I also had Creighton in my Sweet 16. I also did not have UConn in my Sweet 16. Georgetown did bite me a little bit because I thought they were going to continue their run from the Big East. But I also didn't have a ton of faith in the ACC. The big surprise, to be honest, is the Pac-10.
Pac-12.
I had so many of those teams going out early, so that killed me. And then, yeah, like a lot of the big upsets, you know, they blew up everybody's bracket, but some of them I made money on because, like, Oral Roberts, I didn't think they were going to beat Ohio State. But I definitely bet them to cover in that game. So I made some money off of that game. When they won, I was like, you know, I wish I bet the money line, but, you know, made the money where it was. I got blown up, though. I had a little more faith in the Big Ten, which kind of surprised me. But I guess That happens every year. I forget every year that they're not as good as they
They're
say
just trash, boring basketball. It
I like-
really is.
I like the guys in Illinois, so like that my bracket was done with the Illinois game because I had Illinois
Yeah.
in the championship losing to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So my bracket was pretty much done there. But I've been doing well on the games, doing a lot of in game. I forgot to tell you on the trip out there. So shout out to DraftKings because I didn't even know if I could get something set up when I got to Indiana, and I also have a William Hill account, and I called them, and they're like, when you get there, you can log in, and you'll have to verify your stuff again, and you get a new account. DraftKings. We get on the road, we set up a tablet on the dashboard, and we're watching the first 4 games on our drive to Indianapolis. And as soon as we cross the border in PA, my DraftKings goes, I had to do like 2 clicks to verify, and I'm good to go. And then when we hit the border for Ohio, I had to do 2 clicks, good to go. When we got into Indiana, 2 clicks, good to go. During the week when I was betting like NBA and stuff like that in Illinois, same thing. So my account just transferred state to state as we went. And like I said, it was funny on the ride because I did a lot of good, got a lot of profit betting in games,
Right.
especially on that first night. Almost every game on the first night was like a double-digit comeback. So as soon as a team went down like 12 or 14, we'd take their line and they'd either come back and win the game or they'd come back and at least make it close. So yeah, we made a bunch of money doing that. And then I like I said, I liked our guys the first 2 games. I wasn't as confident, obviously, with us against Baylor. I thought we could give them a good run, and I thought we did. I thought there were some out-of-bounds calls that went the wrong way in the first half, which I think made a huge difference because my friend on TV said that the 3 they definitely got wrong led to 7 points. And a 14-point lead at half versus a 7-point lead at half, I think would have puckered Baylor a little more. It would have been tougher for them to make a comeback. But I put a decent amount of money on it anyway, though, because DraftKings gave me a boost of like 50% on something. So I got the Nova money line to win like $50 to pay $375 or something like that. So I was like, if we lose, I'm going home. I lost $50. If we win, it pays for the next weekend.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, with me, it was more Illinois just fucking annoyed me. And like Latchy said, I usually never bet the Big Ten to go far because I don't know. It annoys the shit out of me that they're just like so Big Ten-ish, if that makes sense. Like they play the same style of basketball. I hope Michigan loses tonight. Just throw that out there. But yeah, one thing that annoyed me. Listen, anyone who watches this, the Kansas for me going to an Elite 8 was a homer pick. I kind of knew they weren't that good this year. I even said it. I was like, yeah, they're just not that good. They don't have a spot-up shooter. So obviously that annoyed me being a fan. But the one thing that really bothered me. I am a honorary, if you will, I claim myself to be. When Kansas isn't good, like I say, I root for Rutgers a lot. I used to go to the games as a kid because, they're 10 minutes away down the road. So for them to finally get in and them to blow that fucking – with that bracket, like they had a shot. Like they could have made the Elite 8, Final Four even. Like who knows? And for them to like – they weren't ready. You're just not ready when you're a team like that. And you could tell they haven't been there in so long. The team, it was overwhelming. And for them to blow that lead with 4 minutes left, that was heartbreaking, man. That sucked as like a local New Jersey guy. But other than that.
I was going to say to ride off of that, I'm a closet Rutgers fan. Not a lot of people know that because when I was at Nova, they were in the Big East. So as soon as school, they became a rival. But when I was a kid like you, like Rutgers is 20 minutes down the road. I used to go to games all the time and watch guys play in the 90s. So, like, once they left to the Big Ten and all that, like, I've rooted for them to come back because I'd like to be able to go 20 minutes down the road and just watch a basketball game and get them back to that. The same reason I root for their football team.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there to sit in a stadium for crap. I want to go to watch a great game. So it was disappointing that they blew that lead. That also kind of twisted the dagger me because I wanted to go see their games and I had tickets to their games, but their games overlapped with either the start or the end of our game both days, so I couldn't go. But when I built a huge 5 or 6 game parlay right before our game, in-game them, and then forgot about it because I went to our game and started drinking and we won and I went out and started drinking. And I go back home and I check and they lost and all 5 other legs of my parlay hit. And I was just like, oh.
Well, I just have to touch really quick. Yeah, take it. I just have to touch really quick. Latch, I think Tim's disappointed because you say you asked experts, and Tim's the known expert on this show, and it didn't seem like you sent the text to him.
Just hear me out, Latch. I thought we were boys. I thought we were friends. We asked you to be on the show again because of our loyalty to you as a friend. You can't even ask us what we would have done. Fuck no, man. Anyway, fuck no. Time out. Real quick, guy. Before we pass the Rutgers, if Rutgers wins that game, do they have the same run and make it to?
Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes.
They could.
Really?
They definitely have the team for it. They were built on all three levels. They had two good guards, they had a good wing, and they had Miles Johnson in the paint who could just dominate. No team was going to outsize them. No team was really going to outquick them. They could have played with everybody but Baylor and Gonzaga.
They would have had to beat Syracuse, and then they would have had to beat who beat Loyola, Michigan, who beat that? I'm sorry, but basically they had a road. Oregon State.
State beat them.
They had a road to the final.
Yeah, exactly. If they win that game, they have Syracuse and Oregon State. They're probably in the Final Four.
That is wild to think of, man. And like for people who don't understand that, being from New Jersey, this area, like it like we all went to these games. We go to local bars. We're not fans of them. I'm not a Rutgers fan, but we watch them. You root for them. And I have friends who went to Seton Hall, and it's like a different vibe. They root for Seton Hall, but like I've always just veered towards Rutgers. So,
I was tempted to stay.
Yeah, just to see them.
I was heartbroken when we lost, but then like the next day, I'm like, all right, it's time to go home. But if Rutgers had a shot, I would have been tempted to be like, well, if I stay, then like how am I getting home next weekend and trying to like sort out that? It might have been worth it.
Yeah. So for the most part,
that Rutgers that you don't go to the games to watch a good game. No, you go to a football stadium. You can watch Ohio State drop 60. You can watch Michigan drop 50 on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's still. I used to go to a lot of Rutgers soccer games as a kid. They were very fun, actually.
Sure. You can do that. That's an event. It's a social event. It's a nice place to go outside and drink with your friends. But when Rutgers was really good, I had a few friends that were like went to Rutgers and then went to West Virginia for grad school. And that year, where like Rutgers could win the Big East, we went to West Virginia. Yeah. For the Rutgers-West Virginia game that was going to decide the Big East Saturday night, 8 o'clock, under the lights, 100,000 people. That was a college football game. That was a mind-blowing experience.
The Pat White era.
Yeah, you don't get that. You don't get that, when they're crap. Yeah, we go there and we make money because they don't cover the 40 points they're getting, but it's not the same.
Hey, you can't bet Rutgers, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to call Scott for that.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna hit you up, all right?
I don't know what you're talking about. So aside from that, we can agree that, like, for the most part, it's gone what we thought. Gonzaga's just going to steamroll. On the right-hand side, you got Baylor and Houston right now. Personally, I think I'm rooting for Houston. But I do think Baylor's a better team. I think they'll win, and I think Gonzaga's going to beat whoever wins the Michigan-UCLA game. But I do like UCLA to play tough tonight. I do. I think Mick Cronin's a good coach, even though he kind of underachieved with Cincinnati. But that's a horrible conference. That A-10 conference is trash. But let's go with Tim because he's a Michigan fan. What do you think's going to be the final, and are you sticking with your Gonzaga victory here?
Yeah. Gonzaga's going to win, right? It's going to be Gonzaga against Baylor. Baylor's going to cover 5. That's what the spread is right now. They're going to cover 5 against Houston. My bet's already in. Right. They look too good. Houston looked too iffy the last game. I can't see it. I can't see a different outcome than Gonzaga versus Baylor. Do I want a different outcome? Yeah. Homer J. Simpson says, I'll take Michigan. And I'll take Michigan until they lose. Right,
don't drag Homer under the rug with you.
Okay, me and I need another guy named Homer. I don't know. He's my go-to.
Homer Bailey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Homer Bailey. Homer Hickam, October Sky, the movie, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Okay.
Latch,
you said movie. I don't know what that is.
We'll go to Sir Latch. So Latch, what do you think? You got Gonzaga taking it?
Yeah. I got Gonzaga over Baylor. is doing great so far in this game. Like I said, I was juggling 2 accounts. The account that I had a little bit less in, I got a little bit of a boost for a parlay, and I did Baylor last night and Gonzaga tonight for what I had left in the account. So right now we're looking pretty good on that. The line is already out for Baylor Houston, and it's only 5. I am going to be murdering that on Saturday. Houston is not going to be able to play with them. There's no way. I've seen Houston have too many games when this year where I've bet on Houston and they've lost me money because if a team is aggressive and can put the screws to them like Baylor does to everybody, they crumble. They absolutely crumble.
Yeah, well, Baylor only lost once this year to Kansas, but all right, that's aside the point. Sir, you got the same thing going on here?
Listen, if you listen to my bracket, right, with last episode, what was my championship game?
No, you're right. You wanted that.
Baylor. Why differentiate from
Why
that?
change it? You know,
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
It's a matter of time. We'll find out. So enjoy the end of it. At least the March Madness was like, I would say, the first sense of normalcy this world has had. It's really nice to see, even though there's no fans. Let's move on to baseball here because it's starting Thursday. And me as a Yankee fan, I am laughing so hard at the Mets right now because all I heard when Steve Cohen was buying the team, we got the richest owner, we're not going to run into any money troubles, and now they're in one right now. They trade for Lindor, he's turning down a deal. You have a rich owner who talks about, I could pay anybody. He goes on Twitter and he's interacting with people. It doesn't work in New York, buddy. This is like Rex Ryan. You could only fucking predict Super Bowls 1 or 2 times. People get sick of it. Stay off social media and get the job done because at the end of the day, fans don't want to fucking hear it. Make the deal or shut up. So, Lindor, good for you. Run him for as much money when an owner comes in and the fans come in talking about we have the richest owner. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the fucking knife to your throat. Pay me then if you're the richest owner. Well, oh, wait a minute. I can't afford that. So good for Lindor. I hope this doesn't get done. And the Mets fans, once again, just are miserable as hell. We'll start with Sir on this one. How do you feel?
Hang on real quick, Sir Timmy. I didn't get the note about the costume change. Give me 1 second.
Oh, God, no. We want to keep viewers. Oh man, you got a shirt on.
Give me Empire, baby. Let's go. Costume change.
All right.
You
so
make
this
a
is
hurt.
important.
You make a host nervous. We almost got kicked off of Twitch.
Reported to the FCC.
There would have been. I'll never forget.
I'm not mad. I'm just always on the side of the player here. That as I got older. So go on, sir.
Hold on.
I've really been following
Sir, time out. Sir,
Go
can
ahead.
I tell a story real quick with Latch about to turn his shirt off? This is more of a Twitch story, not really of a sports betting story. But when he was taking his shirt off, I felt like when we were younger, one of our friends, we went down the roller coaster. He was a dude. He went and put his shirt up. Yeah, we thought we were funny. They blacked it out. They thought it was a chick flashing the screen. So I didn't need that to happen on Twitch. We don't want to lose our loyal viewers. Well, you gotta warn me next time, Latch. We'll get the little cover up. We'll just cover the end of the screen. Sorry, sir. Please continue.
All right, so maybe y'all can school me on something here. So this Lindor deal, all right? The Mets offered 10 years, $325 million, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
He counter-offered 12 years, $385,
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
So according to math, because baseball is guaranteed contracts, it's $32.5 million per year that the Mets offered him for 10 years.
Yeah.
He wants 12 years at $32.1 million.
Yep.
For 12 years. I mean,
Sure.
granted, yes.
So they're the fucking Mets.
Listen, so he's trying to get $60 million more.
Guaranteed.
The Mets don't want to pay him basically $30 million a year more for the years when he's 38 and 39 years old.
But Latch, if you win 3 World Series or 2 World Series, you'll deal with that. You'll deal with it.
The Angels
happen.
gave
You don't know that.
a big
I agree with you.
They did not pay him for the years. They were paying him for the years when he was still quote in his prime or decent.
Right.
But if he balls out for you and he provides a rent or provides some opportunities, take the just whatever. All right.
Yes.
Can I play devil's advocate to why they're not forking the money initially?
Yeah, go on.
They could still sign him after, right?
He won't do it, I don't think.
Why not? Why not? If they're going to pay the
well,
most money, what? Time out.
Yankees.
Time out. You're worried? That's fine. Yankees. Guess what? He's under contract this year.
Yeah.
You're here to win World Series this year.
Dude, Tim, you're missing the point. This is the Will Ponds all over again.
No, it's not.
This is the point.
No, it's not, because he can pay, right? He can pay. He's not worried about the money.
Then do it.
No. You can't do it, right? What if he gets hurt this year? Then there's no reason to pay him.
But come on, that could happen to anybody.
Exactly. If they're not worried about the money, they're going to pay him at the end. Just let him play the year out. What more incentive do you need to have your best player playing his best baseball, trying to make as much money as he can? If he wins you a World Series, pay him whatever you want.
If he wins the MVP, they'll give him that deal.
If he comes out this year and balls out and wins MVP and they go to the playoffs and make a run,
that's a win-win.
That 325, 385,
that's fine.
You're okay with paying that because they made a run.
That's fine.
Pay for that.
But what if he says, "Fuck you! You weren't loyal to me. I'm out." Like, that could happen with players.
Here we go.
So I agree, and Timmy, I agree with you earlier. But
bro,
who else is going to pay him that?
Andy Pettit left the Yankees. I'm just saying.
Who else is going to pay a guy $400 million? What team has that money next year?
What other free agents are coming out that play the same position as him?
A lot of them. Baez.
A lot of them.
So
Trevor Story.
As a Met fan, though.
Corey Seager.
I get it. As a Met fan, though, you make the big trade. You finally get what you need. And now as a Met fan, you're watching. It's like, we're not, oh, my God, he's slipping through our fingers again. That's how I would look at it. That's how I would look at it.
But you can't.
I get the view of the fans, and I get the Mets have to be stuck in that mentality because that's what they've been dealing with for 20 years. But business-wise, what Cohen is doing is he's looking at the market. He's willing to make him the 5th highest paid player in baseball.
Yeah,
but at what he wants to do. And he knows there's a 98% chance at the end of the season, no matter what happens, no one else is going to offer him 10 years, $300 million.
You don't know that. Cano got offered. We thought that about Cano.
I thought Cano would never leave the Yankees.
I agree.
Offered him a boatload.
You never know, man.
I'll take it.
You never know. Why play this game? Why play this game if you're the Mets? You fucked up so many deals. Stop playing this game.
Here's another thing, and I swear Nick didn't text me this. What if he can't fucking perform in New York?
Then you shouldn't have traded for him.
How the fuck do they know that?
You don't know if anyone could perform in New York, man. But
well, let him play.
But now you take the year to find out before you give him $325 million.
And then what if he walks?
380.
What if he walks?
380. Well, if he walks while he's not a good player in New York, then you saved yourself X amount of money, and you get one of the 3 other all-star shortstops that's going to come to New York and maybe play awful too, right? But you saved yourself 1 year of wasted money.
I'm just saying, man, the Mets haven't had a guy since, let's say, David Wright. And I'm not talking about a pitcher. Or Piazza. This is like a Piazza. Because David Wright really, all things considered, wasn't that good. But, this is like a Piazza type, marketing, player. You could get behind if you're a fan, man. And you think the Yankees aren't going to regret giving Cole those extra years? They definitely are. But they're thinking, let him win us 2 World Series and fuck year 8 and 9. Listen.
These big deals, as the later years, what's that with Pujols? Right now, he's getting paid $40 million.
Good for him.
Shit. Yeah, tough shit.
He's 42 or something like that, right? I'm saying, but you didn't pay him for this year. You paid him for years past, thinking that he would do something.
There is a comment on Twitch that needs to be tested to.
Oh my God.
There was a closer that was the best closer in Seattle in baseball that came to the New York baseball Mets, and let's just say he has not lived up to expectations.
Yes, that happens with everyone. We traded Ted Lilly for Jeff Weaver. It happens. This is the guy. And I see Nick's comment here on so many levels. Nick also is combative and likes to argue about everything. He's admitted that to me. But, if you're a Met fan, God bless you, and you agree with this, go for it. You'll be stuck in limbo for the next fucking 10 years. You'll be doing with the same shit. If I'm a Met fan, pay the guy, get this shit done, get it over.
Obviously, the Mets have some faith because they did offer 10 years for $325.
Right. I'm not saying Cohen's wrong.
He's obviously they argued over the last 2 years at $60 million.
Exactly.
$20 million per.
You're talking about the same team that's still paying
Bobby
fucking Bobby
Bobby
Bowden is
Bowden.
still there. You're talking to a person that still is. I don't know if we're still
Why
paying
is
him.
he
God,
entering?
yeah, Albert Bell. Albert Bell fleeced us for
Oh,
a
here we go.
goddamn boat and
Hey,
a half.
folks,
right?
Nick is
Rick
entering
Davis is
here.
Hold
Folks,
on.
Nick is entering
Oh
here.
my
Hold
God,
up.
we got
Nick is
uglier real
entering here.
quick.
We got the Met fan in here.
What is that?
Go on, Nick. Explain why you're gonna lie and say
Nick, why do
don't
you have
want this
Eagles
done.
gear on? This is
No.
ridiculous.
I'm sitting here. I'm fighting a cold, not COVID. I'm watching Godzilla, and then I'm going to watch Skull Island to get ready for really what we all should be betting on is who's going to win Kong versus Godzilla tomorrow. And I had to jump on and listen to this garbage that Scott's spewing for so many different reasons. So Scott,
Sir's with me. There's both of us here.
Wait, what?
Shut up.
what about
Scott?
Figured
No
out
one
why.
is with you on this, Scott.
All right, that's fine. Go.
there's no point in signing him. They offered him a very fair deal. If he doesn't
Agreed.
take it,
Agreed.
then go sign Trevor Story next year or go
How
sign
do you know
somebody
you're
else.
gonna get him? How do you know you're gonna get him?
Eventually, they're going to get somebody if they have as
Who
much money as
says?
they have.
Who says?
Because
Because
can
they've
overpay
signed a
somebody
bunch
else.
of free agents. They've signed so many new people this year. They've added so many people. So what makes you think under Steve Cohen that they aren't going to spend money? The
They
only
would
reason
overpay
Trevor
another
Bauer
guy for half of the money that they would pay Lindor to play short, and then spend the other half of the money to address another position.
they were
We'll
willing
see.
to spend a ton of money on Trevor Bauer and then still extend Francisco Lindor. It wasn't like if they got Bauer, they weren't going to extend Francisco Lindor. So they clearly are willing to spend a ton of money. And you brought up Robinson Cano, which was the point that I thought of immediately when you said this. When Robinson Cano got overpaid by the Seattle Mariners,
Right.
did any Yankee fan say, "Oh, we
I
should
wanted
have matched the deal"? Like
Yes,
you wanted
I
to
did.
match that deal?
I did. Yeah.
And how did
I
he
would-
do? How did that
It
deal?
doesn't
How did
matter.
that deal
It
turn
doesn't.
out?
But he did good for 5 years. I would. As
Who
a
cares
Yankee
if it's
fan,
5 years if it ruins your franchise
Oh,
for
fuck
another
that.
7
But
after
as
that?
a Yankee fan, I'm paying the ticket prices. Don't give me money when you go sign Jacoby Ellsbury to a worse deal. That's my thing.
Well, the Yankees have shown a pattern on numerous occasions of overspending on guys that
Right.
weren't very good, all the way back to Carl Pavano. So,
right, but
or
I don't
Jared
mind that
Wright.
signing. I don't mind Carl Pavano because everyone was after him. I don't mind that sign. Everyone
At
was
the
after
end of the day, it's very simple. They're not the Wilpons because they're haggling over $300 million contracts. We'll get to you in a second, Captain Planet. They're talking about $300 million. They're going to get a deal done, and if they don't, then go sign one of the other free agents that are coming out next year.
Listen, as a Met fan,
Nobody's offering him $12 million
You
or
don't know
12
that. I
years,
wouldn't,
$385.
bro. As a Met fan, just with the history, as a Yankee, I wouldn't play that game. Is what I'm saying. You don't know if they'll sign anyone, right? We don't know 100%. And as
get
a
'em-
Met,
They
if
gave
I'm a
up. They
Met
gave
fan-
up nothing. They gave up nothing to get him for 1 year. If he wants to go and
Okay.
be greedy and go make a ton of money somewhere else,
Not
then let him go
greedy.
be
It's not
greedy and make money
greedy.
somewhere else.
Not greedy. They should be able to get what they need to get. It's not.
If he feels like he's worth it, then he's worth it. But in the world we're living in right now with COVID and everything going on, to haggle over $385 million versus $310, when we all know the baseball season isn't starting on time next year, and you're going to set the market for the amount of money that you're going to be able to, the rest of the shortstops are going to be able to fall in line with. Why would you pay him into his age 39 and 40?
I guess for security, listen, I'm not a Met fan. This is just me coming as if I was. I could see myself being as for security because they've been burned so many times. That's just me. We won't agree on it. I get it. Let's go to Tim though because he's ready to say.
First of all, let's Nick. There was
That's
a
a great
request.
point, Tim. But back to Scott. No, I'm just kidding.
There is a request. Thanks, brother. There is a request on Twitch for you to start the show off if you're going to come on. I mean, if you're going to show up on the show, you say, hello,
It's hard to do that with a sore throat and fighting a cold. But hello and welcome to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets.
Now that
There's
we can
probably-
finally start the fucking show off, right? Yeah.
Here's I got one more point and then I'm gonna go. My food is about to arrive. But you mentioned, if they win 3 World Series, then it all makes sense. I would agree. But look at the Yankees contract with A-Rod. The Yankees were contenders every single year and overpaid for A-Rod, who we would all at least argue to a degree, steroids aside, is one of the greatest offensive players in baseball history. They won 1 with him. And in the end, they had to buy him out because they didn't want him anymore. And that's the Yankees, who contend every single year. with George Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman, and now, the other Steinbrenners. So, yeah, if they won 3 World Series, if they won 4 World Series, great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But to say that that's going to happen, when's the last time it did happen? 20 years when the Yankees did it? It's not going to happen.
But I guess I look at it as a Yankee fan, like I look at it different as a Met fan. Like,
that's the first thing you said that I 100% agree with. You hate the Mets, so you think of it as a Yankee fan.
I do, but I look at it like from a perspective that maybe I am thinking as a Yankee fan where we have money to spend, but like as someone who had a rich owner as my fan base, I never looked at money as an issue. Fucking spend. I don't give a shit. Get the good. That's just me. That's
your expectations are too high for everything else, right? There's too much unknown with what's going on now. You can't. Me personally, if the Orioles couldn't spend on my cousin or something, right? We got no money apparently, but it's too much money on something you're not guaranteeing championships. You're not. There's replacements that could come in and do arguably just as good. We just don't know yet.
Right.
Basically, so what I'm saying is haggling over an extra 2 years, $60 million. If the Mets win a championship in those 10 years, that $60 million is worth it.
True. I'm with that.
So
I don't know if they win 1 World Series if it's worth it, and they still need a lot.
They do, or if they are a contender every year, that extra $60 million is worth it in my book.
So from a purely financial perspective, Sir is right in the fact that I believe it is a $40 to $50 million positive impact on a team winning the World Series, depending on how many games they play in the playoffs. Secondly, to say like those 2 years at the end, like we'll deal with them when we get there. The way that the prices and salaries have been going up, 12 years from now, 30 million might be like a little bit over average. So if you're eating that then it's a good thing.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, if that's not the case and salaries don't continue to skyrocket as they have, you're not only talking about the extra 30 million or whatever it is per year those years, but that could potentially put your team over the salary cap and give you taxes, which could be tens of millions of dollars more, unless you just bag your team for those years because you have to pay Lindor when he's 39 and you have to move him to first base. So there's so many intricacies to it from the financial side that I don't think that's really the argument. Cohen's just looking at it like, this is a fair deal. It's a better deal than you're going to get anywhere else. And if you're not happy with it right now, we'll play it out. And if it comes around next year, and this could all, you're saying like, oh, we got to wait till the end of the season. Maybe he comes hellfire out of the gates. They're running away with the league. And in July or August, they sign him to an extension because he's already proven himself. There's so much give and take here that having your hair on fire because they won't sign him a deal for an extra 2 years right now, I don't think it's that critical yet. Come next year, no one else is going to give him 10 years, 325. No one's going to give him 1285. If they are and he's worth it, then Cohen will probably be willing to accept that he was wrong and pay up and pay whatever it takes to keep him. And the kid's going to stay in New York because you're going to make more money being a star in New York than you will if you go to Seattle. Ask Robinson Cano how his endorsements went when he became a Mariner and was no longer a Yankee. There's so many pieces to this moving. You know, there's no need to panic right now.
I'm off the cuff. You guys know that. I speak crazy sometimes. I'm willing to admit my
You don't say.
You don't speak crazy about my team, Scott. You keep it to your teams. You don't speak crazy about my team.
Latch speaks logic to me. I will say, though, all I'll say is, like, if it's just, I guess, the given history, I know people could leave. Be careful. Like, you think you're going to be the only one to offer him this? You never fucking know, man.
Scott,
we'll come
can
out
I
of
ask you
money out of nowhere and
Yeah, you never know.
Can I ask you a hypothetical question?
Go.
Let's say he in Latch's perspective. Let's say he starts playing well out of the gate, right? And the Mets give him what he wants. He's not going to. He can't say no, right? He can't say no. In 3 months, if he's playing out of his mind.
It depends what people's egos are.
All of those.
You think that's going to work in New York?
all of those hypotheticals are predicated on the fact that he's already said that once the season starts, he's not negotiating.
Right. That's
So
where I'm going.
There's a opening day deadline.
Yeah.
you never know, but I think a deal will get done. If I'm a betting man, which I am, I think the deal will get done.
Yeah, if he makes the All-Star team and Cohen calls him while he's in wherever the All-Star game is going to be this year, if they have one, and he's like, all right, by the way, I'm sending the 385 to your hotel if you want to sign it. Is he going to be like, nah, I'm good. I said I had to be done before the beginning of the year? No, he's going to sign that contract.
Wait, you said if he's balling?
Yeah.
I say no because obviously you have to offer like 400 plus.
Yeah, I'm with Sir here.
But he might be willing to do that.
If he's balling, listen, I mean, granted, I would say take it because New York ain't built for everybody. Like, there's been stars that come to New York and struggle. AJ Burnett. Thank you very hello. I'm looking at you, AJ Burnett. Goddamn.
Hey, he had a couple big wins.
Yeah, but what wouldn't the AJ Burnett deal was a great deal. They won a World Series with him.
I'm
So isn't that a great deal?
Yeah, we trade him. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the A-Rod thing because he got.
No, I'm saying
it's
everybody
not
ain't
my
built for
money,
New York.
Nick. It's not my money, so I'm okay with it. I don't give a fuck.
That's totally irrational.
It's just a Yankee. It's just that's what I look at. I don't want to hear your fucking pinching pennies when you make bad deals and then go.
Who's pinching pennies when they're haggling over $300 million? Who's pinching pennies?
2 years. You are, like Sir said, what's $60 million if you win a World Series?
They're offering them over $300 million. See, the Yankees and the Mets are two completely different teams, and we don't know how the Mets are going to respond to a bad deal under Steve Cohen. We know what they do when they make a bad deal under the Wilpons. They don't make bad deal anymore. We've seen it with Jason Bay. We've seen it with multiple pitchers that they've signed. We've seen it when they fuck up, and it lasts them for years. The Yankees have consistently covered up bad signings with more signings because they've had an owner willing to win and spend as much money as possible, which is why Latch is rocking a shirt that says the Evil Empire. They will make mistakes and Band-Aid those mistakes with more money. Some teams can do that. So, yeah, to you, who cares? Just fucking if it doesn't work with Francisco Lindor and they offer him $385 million, well, let's just get Trevor Story and we'll sign him too. And then we'll just cut Francisco Lindor outright. It just makes no sense.
Why? He's the richest owner in baseball.
Nick, let me ask you a question real quick from our Twitch chat. Who is more important to you to sign, Francisco Lindor or Michael Conforto?
Francisco Lindor. I don't think they'll sign Michael Conforto just because he's a Scott Boras agent and or Scott Boras is his agent and he's. I hope they'd sign both because I like Conforto, but I think if they were going to sign one, sign Lindor, and I think they will only sign Lindor.
Thank you.
All right, that's good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's solid Mets argument.
Have a great rest of your show, and I think King Kong wins in the second round.
Goodbye, and
how did
thank
he
you
get
for
so
showing
big
up
from the
on
last movie,
Chuck
Nick?
Bets.
He grew.
Steroids. Wait, just
They
steroids.
should sign King Kong to a 3-year movie deal right now. All right, so that was Nick obviously having issues.
Thank God that's over with. We look a lot better with only 4 of us. I hate to break it to Nick. We got a lot uglier when he showed up. Now that he's not here to defend himself,
hopefully he feels better.
Fuck that guy.
Hopefully he feels better. Let's get into our final thing. I'm not sure if the run line's open right now. Thursday, baseball starts. I love opening day. Honestly, I like baseball more as a kid. It's probably my favorite sport as far as knowledge. I know the most about it. You wouldn't get it from the argument that just happened. But as far as the past, I know the most history about baseball. I love it. But football kind of overtook it as I got older. But opening day is special. Opening day is special. It's just really nice. It's the coming of spring, if you will, here in the Northeast. All the bullshit snow's getting out of the way. You might get 1 or 2 cold days, but it's just a nice feeling to watch baseball. So opening day is Thursday. We got some 3-team parlays. We're going to all pick what we think on DraftKings. So I'll start. I didn't do a run line because I didn't know if there was. So we'll just go with these. After all I just talked, the Mets I love on opening day. They have the highest winning percentage. They usually play great on opening day, which gets their fans' hopes up, and it makes me happy because then they just drop like 9 straight out.
They are the April champions.
Exactly, yeah. I like the Yankees with Cole, so I like New York both to win. And then I'm going to throw in the Cardinals with Jack Flaherty as a plus money here. Just because, why not? He's one of the best pitchers in the National League or in baseball. So, yeah, you're getting plus money. Go for it. $100 there wins you $543. Yankees, Mets, and Cardinals with the money line only. So I think that's a pretty solid bet. So I'll go with that. Go on, Tim.
So before we started, I had a 3-teamer. You're like, don't pick all the favorites. Like, fine. Well, I did anyway. I do have a 4th team to take on the side. I don't have what that'll pay out, but so I'm with you on the Yankees. Garrett Cole's a monster. I've got the Dodgers with Clayton Kershaw on the mound, and I have the Red Sox because just bet against my Orioles all day, every day. I only know about 3 people in their starting lineup, both batters and pitchers. They have the most minor league team, and the Red Sox are going to suck, right?
Garbage.
But they're going to suck, but they're still going to fucking beat us. They're going to sweep us.
I would actually recommend taking the over because, I mean, both those pitchers is awful. So
well, there you go, sir.
And in Fenway, runs are scored in buckets.
No lead is safe. No lead is safe, sir.
That is a bonus. The 3 favorites I picked were plus 262, so 100 wins you 362. The plus game that I found later on since I knew I had to take an underdog, I'll take Madison Bumgarner and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're plus 180, 186. I'm not sure what it is. My handwriting was bad. Yeah, say no, sir. It's fine. It's a great opportunity to win some plus money.
Hey, opening day, you never know, man.
Are we doing best bets, or are we doing that?
Go on. What's your best bet?
My best bet is the Mets and Nationals under on opening day. DeGrom, I don't know what the number is, right? Because it's not out yet.
Not out yet, but 2 good pitchers. So.
DeGrom,
it'll be a 1.
Max Scherzer. That's a 2-1, 3-2 game. If it's anything over, if it's 5.5, right? You're taking the under.
It'll probably be 7.5. It'll probably come up 7.5.
Well, then even better.
Latch, we'll go to you. We'll go to you with.
I've been trying to say 7 for like 5 minutes. William Hill put up their run lines and their over unders. So the over under for that game on William Hill is 7.
All right,
yeah,
I'll take
Latch
as well.
Latch, just continue with your 3-team. What do you got?
Absolutely.
If you got one.
So I did one. My one that was all favorites was the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Indians because I'm a big believer. So I got him rolling against. Plus, it's the Tigers. Sorry, Sharice. Everyone can beat the Tigers, even if they don't have Lindor anymore. And that was plus 248. But I tweaked that just now because, like I said, on my other book, the run lines came up. So I would change the Dodgers to minus 1.5 rather than just the money line, which bumps it up to plus 318. So it'd be 100.
What's the spread on the Dodgers run line?
1.5.
Which one? The Dodgers?
What's the what is it? Minus what?
Minus 140.
All right.
So I had those. My sleeper even money. What is the Cardinals? They're plus 105. They're the better team. They're just kind of a little bit behind in the pitcher matchup in that game. So hopefully the offense can make up for that a little bit. And that's my dark horse.
All right, cool. Sir, what you got?
All right. I didn't really look at dogs yet because I found that out last minute. But I had Cleveland minus 190. Shane Bieber, rating Cy Young. Brothers a monster. Detroit. My bad. Sorry, Tigers. I know. Then I had the Dodgers minus 125. I would probably take the run line over that game because the Dodgers could put up runs, and Colorado is not very good, and it's in Coors Field. And then I had the Padres minus 225. Yu Darvish, sneaky Cy Young pick. I'm telling you, I said that early in the season, and he's on the mound. Plus, with the Padres offense, they gonna score. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That parlay would pay 220 plus 222. Again, if you change Dodgers to run line, it goes up. The odds go up. But the stats weren't out yet, so I didn't know what that parlay would pay out. But
sir, it goes to about 281 if you change the Dodgers to the run line.
And if you wanna bust a parlay, take my plus pick. And sorry, sir.
Okay.
All right. No, that's awesome. I guess the lock of the week. I'll go with the Mets money line. Jacob deGrom over Scherzer. Lay money on it. because I don't think the Nationals are good. I think they kind of had that miracle run, and they're done. I don't trust Scherzer. DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball. You could argue with Cole. So you're getting him a minus 135 right now. Take it and run. Like, that's not even that much. Like, someone like him pitching is usually a negative 300 or some shit like that, minus 300.
If it was against anyone else, you were absolutely correct.
Right, but like, what is? I mean, the Nationals to me aren't. I don't know, nothing that big. No world beaters, as the great Joe Beningo would say. So yeah, that's it, man. That's Sharp Bets fantasy sets. Nick will be back next week, so you won't have to hear my nonsense, even though I like to think I play the heel awesomely and add to some argument. You don't hear many arguments on this show, so except when we're watching Mark Side and Tim's getting thrashed by Conrad Thompson.
Fuck that guy, all right? God damn it.
Some upcoming shows we got on the TruExact show this Friday. Catch Petruzzo Inc. We interviewed their shirt designing company in New Jersey. They do everything from Nickelodeon shirts to Seinfeld. They're really cool. I wear a lot of their shirts in my videos. You'll see them. They're cheap. They ship fast. Nothing crazy like $35. $15 flat fee. Awesome shirts. And it's small business in New Jersey, and they're really cool people. Mark's Side of the Ring, they'll be doing I think they're going to have people on doing top WrestleManias, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to have people in 15-minute increments. WrestleMania 6 should be number 1. That's just me. Go on,
if you want me to yeah, they're doing similar to the Royal Rumble draft that they did. They're going to do a WrestleMania draft. Same exact thing. I think they're going to have, like Scott said, people jump in and give their input on a couple of them.
Right. And on Random University this week, Brian and Ellie did an April Fool's joke. April Fool's episode about some April Fool's pranks, and did a real or fake news type episode. And on Just Animals Pod, the last episode, they had on a Shark Lab expert from Cal Tech or something. I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong. So that's it. Catch all our shows. Merch, TruExactRadio.com. We know when you're ordering it, so you can't lie to Tim. And catch us every weekend. Any final words? Mine is goodbye. Latch?
Yeah, one last thing. We only stuck to college and baseball today. NBA is still going on. There's still a lot of money to be made in the NBA. Sir knows what's up. If you are not betting the points, rebounds, assists for Harden until Durant gets back, you're an idiot, because it's free money every fucking game. And you can look at the matchups for Jokic and Westbrook as well for the PRAs. They're crushing those all the time. So check those out, because those are winners on the regular.
Also, as a same point, the props on triple doubles for Westbrook and I believe Joker has been plus like 200 most games. It's been pretty good bets. Pretty good.
They flipped. I looked today, sir. He's minus 200 for the triple double for Westbrook. Wow. Minus 200. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
To explain to some of our listeners who don't understand what RPA is, it's points, rebounds, and assists. The total, you can bet it on the websites. So in case they didn't know what it was.
So, for example, Westbrook has been floating. His is around usually like 49.5. Last night, that crazy video game he had 71 total points, rebounds, and assists. And his line was 49.5.
Pretty, yeah, they've been putting up
and Harden's doing it every night.
Yeah.
Moravec said he got it already. So, well, there's that.
All right, guys. So what we heard today, we heard some Final Four picks. Go on, sir.
No, I would say final words. Let's go, Yanks, and let's get a dub.
Exactly. We got some Final Four picks. We got some baseball stuff. We had a Met fan who just can't accept reality on. And we have, the fun show happened. I'm sure he'll text you about that. Next week, you'll have Nick. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Bye, guys. UCLA by 5 tonight.
You're going to make me put my fucking hat on, aren't you? You son of a bitch.